let's get in. Shall we have a break, or do you want to get into our first topic of conversation?
It's up to you.
Shall we talk about Poch?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Poch at PSG. So I was watching Sky Sports on the day that Tuchel was sacked. Thomas Tuchel, I thought was doing a very good job, but apparently, if you're second in the top flight, then if you don't win every single match, you're done. You're done. Even
Pretty
though
much.
by this point, PSG only care about one competition, and that's the Champions League. But if you don't win the French League, you're gone. Which is speaks very. It's odd that Premier League clubs seem to hire and fire managers, and then PSG are just there going, bye, 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 and that has been their policy. They've nearly been as bad as Watford. They've nearly been as bad as Watford for hiring and firing managers, and since before we get on to Poch, since Thomas Tuchel's departure, he has been linked with a number of jobs, including Arsenal and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I don't see him doing a very good job at Arsenal. Got to be honest. And I think Mikel Arteta will survive. I was surprised that Chelsea might get rid of Frank Lampard. I was surprised because I thought he was doing a good job, and his record. Okay, his record this season isn't great.
Well, he was doing fine, and then all of a sudden he was just doing terrible. He couldn't win a match to save his life.
Yeah. And I don't know. I still think it's a very. I think it's a case with Lampard. He took too big a job too soon in his career. But I think he did a stellar job last season.
Well, yeah, I mean, because there was no expectations. They got top four with the kids because there's no expectations on them. What I find the main problem to be, not so much the league performance, but the fact that the players they brought in, all that big spending they done, only really, I'd say Thiago Silva has actually played well, and maybe the keeper. But they brought Werner and Havertz in, and they've both been absolutely woeful.
Yeah, so, I'm just looking at some of the players that they brought in, and I'm just.
Yeah, but Ben Chilwell is they need a left back. That's a good. He's not 50 million, but he's a very good sign. Edouard Mendy, he's been good in goal. I mean, you could have brought anyone in, and he would have been. Yeah, I mean, they needed someone because anyone would have been better than Kepa. They could have put an Oompa Loompa in goal, and he would have been better than Kepa. Thiago Silva's been a rock. His experience has proved massive for them. But then they can't decide the striker because he pretty much has to play Werner, and Werner's been woeful.
Yeah, £47.7 million he cost them from RB Leipzig.
He hasn't scored in 12, 13 matches.
And yet they didn't. I mean, I know they've still got Pulisic in the squad, but who did they let? Yeah. Was it Batshuayi they let on loan on?
Yeah, he's on loan at Crystal Palace.
Even though he was a part of the first team squad the previous season.
Yeah, I mean, because they got thing is, they got Werner, Abraham, and Giroud, and fact of the matter is, they want to get rid of Giroud, even though Giroud's been their most consistent goal scorer. So they can't decide who they want up front. Because what they keep on doing is they keep on sticking Werner on the left wing, and he can't play it. He's absolutely terrible. But then when they do put him up front, he's terrible.
Yeah.
So
Werner's just not set the world on fire this season. He's not been great, and
they were doing okay, and then they suddenly got a couple of draws in a row, and obviously there's the Man City results, and they're just because they were going from a title challenge, second, third in table, to now they're in sixth, and now they're fighting for top four. So I mean, something like that. I mean, all that proves is how close everyone is to each other this season, points wise.
That he's
I don't.
being potentially going to be given the chop this early on.
Well, I don't think.
I don't think they
I
will,
mean,
because who
thing
are they
is,
going to get in?
it's been what? Not even 6 months since he brought players in. They need to all gel.
Yeah, that is true.
Because people are saying, "Oh, will they bring in Tuchel to replace him?" But how much of a guaranteed better job is Tuchel going to do?
That's the thing. I don't think he would. I don't think Tuchel would do a better job than Lampard. And to be fair, he is only the fifth favourite to get the next to be the next manager sacked in terms of the odds. I'm just having a look now. The next Premier League manager to go, still Mikel Arteta, still the favourite.
Really?
Still
I
the favourite
mean,
to go.
Arteta's not. Arteta's not. Thing is, it depends on what club it is and how. Because when you look at, say, like Sheffield United, they should absolutely. I mean, you'd think, you know, bring someone else in to guarantee, try and get, at least make a go, try and survive. But they're not going to get rid of what's his name?
Sorry, I will. I've refreshed it now, and Arteta is now way down there. So it's Chris Wilder is the
Yeah,
favourite,
that's it.
and then
Yeah,
Lampard.
but they're not. They're not going to get. The thing is, Sheffield United's not going to get rid of Chris Wilder,
No, they're not.
even though they should,
They
results
probably
wise.
should, and
But they're
I
not
know
going
exactly who they should replace him with. I
to.
mean, the decision is obvious. It's Slaven Bilic.
Wouldn't be bad.
Slaven Bilic, get him. I mean, you're going down anyway, but at least Slaven Bilic will get you playing good football.
Yeah,
You'll go down in a blaze of glory.
He's scoring some goals. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll go down in a
I mean,
blaze of glory at
what
least.
I don't get is like they bought in Ryan Brewster from us, and he just hasn't worked out with us. But he's a guaranteed goal scorer, and he doesn't play. He doesn't get picked at all. He's on the bench every match, and I'm like, play him. He'll score your goals. He'll get in the right positions. All you have to do is give him the ball in the right position, and he'll score for you. And he just don't. And the problem is that they're not scoring goals. That's a big problem. And then also the crap at the back because you got 47-year-old Phil Jagielka playing. He's got literally zero pace. It's like my nan run faster than him.
I know, but they're sticking with him. That's who they want, and
he should have. I think the big thing for me is that they should have tried. They should have run through walls to keep Dean Henderson.
I will say, I know we'll get on to Poch in a moment, but they are winning 1-0. PSG in his first game in charge. They are winning 1-0 against. I'm going to say the team's name wrong just for comic reasons. They're beating Brest. Chicken breast.
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh really? Oh right. So it is comedy.
Yeah. Just say it in a French accent. Oh.
Oh, breast. Oh god, no, that sounds wrong.
That
sounds wrong.
Well, to be honest, whatever team it was, when you said it, I was gonna say it correctly. But I don't think there's any other way of saying breast. It's how you call them.
So shall I just say PSG 1?
It might be.
Nil.
I think breast might be shortened. It might be maybe like start breast.
Oh, no one like it. I gotta be honest. I'm a man that likes breasts, so I don't like a short breast. Just casual sexism.
I think it might be shortened to
Stade
Brestois to breast.
Brestois, yeah.
Yeah, breast. I think it's Brestois, breast, and then Brestois. But I think instead of saying Brestois, they say breast.
Yeah. Sorry, immaturity strikes again. So Thomas Tuchel, sacked by PSG, joined the club. He only signed a 2-year deal, and they extended his contract after they reached the Champions League final by another year, and he was confident.
Literally.
He said he was going to leave anyway.
Final.
Yeah.
What Tuchel?
Yeah, he threatened to leave because he didn't like some of the players.
I mean, he was having
Neymar.
some spats with the players. I mean,
Neymar and Mbappe.
Thing is, when you go to PSG and you've got Neymar and Mbappe there, the first thing you've got to do, apart from being mates with is it Leonardo, sporting director,
Yeah,
or whatever position he's got?
Leonardo.
Best mates with him. Then, when you actually get the job, got to get best mates with Neymar and Mbappe because they don't like you. And if you're having public spats with them on a training pitch or even during matches, you sign your own death warrant there. You're out
Yeah,
straight away
I
because
know.
they'll force you out themselves.
They are. Yeah, that's. And people say that Neymar isn't like Messi. They are. They are completely
In
like Messi.
what you mean?
That
Not like
Messi essentially runs Barcelona, and he can decide whether the manager gets the thumbs up or the thumbs down.
I'd say Messi definitely has more power in Barcelona than Neymar is in PSG.
Yeah,
But
all right. Yeah,
because literally their whole success was, I mean, Barcelona's success for the last 10 years is based on Messi being so good. Like if Messi wasn't as good as he has been, Barcelona wouldn't have won nearly as many trophies as. I mean, they've had other players. Let's not get that wrong. They've had other world class players. You know, your Xavi's, your Iniestas, Suarez, and then Neymar when he was there. Um, but still, like I think whenever I watch PSG, like they done really well last season to get a Champions League final. They were only beaten 1-0 by an inform. I mean, an inform Bayern Munich at that time. You know,
yeah,
every time I watch them, I just think, you know what, like Neymar and Mbappe, yeah, best players in the team by far. Everyone else, I was looking at going, are the rest of the team really that good? Not really. You know, I think they're so overly reliant on Neymar and Mbappe being in form. Just the way I
yeah.
looked at it, and because I was looking at the way they play, and all the plan was just get to Neymar and Mbappe and let Neymar and Mbappe just dribble and pass around their defence and score. That's literally their entire plan. Um, but what I do know is that Poch will, I think he'll do a good job because he's a very good manager. Um,
I think he's temporary.
for who?
PSG. I think he's temporary.
You mean he's chosen them as temporary job, or they've chosen him as a
I
temporary?
think it's a bit of both.
But who are they going to get that's better?
I think PSG have picked him as a placeholder, and he has picked a placeholder job. I think it's mutually beneficial.
I get why it'd be I get why it'd be beneficial for PSG because he's a very very good manager. Why would you be beneficial for him?
Because it gets him back in the conversation, doesn't it? And I know
But
what you're going to say. He
he's
was
never
never
left the
out of it. Yeah, he never
yeah,
left
he's
it.
never left the conversation. He's always been. He could have literally waited for anyone, his ideal job, to come and get him because any club in the world would have wanted to get him. Like if Barcelona wanted to not have Koeman anymore, they could have gone and spoke to him. Real Madrid, if you want to get rid of Zidane, he could have waited.
Fingers crossed that's still going to happen. No, I think I see him leaving in like 1 or 2 years for Madrid or wherever it's going to pay him enough money. I don't see him winning a Champions League with PSG. I've got to be honest.
I think I mean, it's too early to say. Yeah, I still think I think depends what players he brings in, or if he's able to bring any players in, and he gets his style of playing imprinted on them. But I think
He
he'll do
does
all
like
right.
developing young players, I will say that.
Yeah,
So,
that's what I mean. And PSG have some good players. So we'll see what happens.
but
Um,
considering he was manager at Tottenham when they lost the Champions League final and then proceeded to have a bad run, and he's now taking over a club that reached the Champions League final and then proceeded to have a bad run, or doing a Tottenham, as I'm going to dub it.
well, I mean, if PSG really had a bad run,
I mean, by their
not
standards, by
really.
their elite standards.
You see that kind of mentality just reminds me of Madrid, where it was everything's going to be absolutely perfect, otherwise you're out, and it can't be that way. Like I know they're meant to be, obviously PSG are by far the biggest club in France, and they got the most money, but seriously, like as long as you're in the conversation for league and for league and Champions League,
Yeah.
then you're doing your job. because that's what you're meant to be doing as PSG manager. Like I know people's like, oh, you pretty much guaranteed league and title, so it's that if you don't win, I just like
You know, they
I
they
pers-
they should
I
guarantee themselves the league title,
I
even
personally
though
think
you know they're 3 points
I
behind Lyon.
I personally think that Tuchel was sacked not for league performance. Um, I think it was for his disagreements with players and falling out with the board
Yeah,
because he
I
was very
think
he
yeah,
had this position where he would lose his temper a lot. He could tell if he wouldn't just he's not a yes man. He's not an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If the board tells him something he doesn't agree with, he's going to say no, I disagree with you. Um, and obviously the board most club boards don't want that.
nope, they want a yes man.
They do want to. You know what I mean?
They want a yes man.
Exactly. They want someone who's going to do what they want them to do and still guarantee them success within their limitations, um, which is what most clubs want.
I
Man United
just
being a perfect example.
oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like, like everyone thought Poch would wait for United to get him.
But they never did.
Real Madrid or United.
But they never did. They never
I
made
mean,
that move.
well, then again, he decides to stay with Ollie and it goes on to my point I was trying to make before about managers is at risk. Um, I think with the current situation, the current financial climate, clubs are going to be hesitant to sack managers, even if they're on terrible runs. Like we're saying about Chris Wilder, Sheffield United, they're not going to get rid of him
Mm.
because they're hesitant to. They want someone to come in and then they want the guaranteed survival because then they've got to pay out Chris Wilder his contract with money they can't afford to pay out, and they've got to pay out new money to get a new manager. Especially with the big clubs now, like I bet if the board want to sack Ollie, like they have to pay him a big amount of money as a settlement.
But that's the gamble. That's the gamble of football.
That's the thing, but they don't. The thing
But
is
yeah,
that in a normal climate they could afford to gamble
that is
because they
true.
could probably
That's yeah.
because you can recoup money. Then you can recoup your money with your match day sales and your merchandise, but but clubs now aren't making any money, so really they want to save as much as they can. They can't afford to be risking or anything like that. Um, I've got my point then, but
But no, I know what you mean. It's gambling at normal times is there's a risk and reward to it, but gambling during a pandemic is not a
exactly,
gamble worth the fine worth the money.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, yeah.
I was going to say that Tuchel joins a great list of ex PSG managers, some of which have had success elsewhere, and some of which haven't. Unai Emery coming to mind. The brilliant managerial genius of Unai Emery coming to mind.